Alright, what's going on YouTube? We're back with some more Baldur's Gate 3 mod videos. This time we're taking a look at a healing class called the Lightbender. This is a class that has a unique resource called Light Points. This is used to cast your healing spells and some radiant spells. Now, while some of the flavored text may still say the same as Healing Word, you'll notice that instead of using spell points, you'll be using light points. And while it seems like they are low in cost right now, and towards the end of this video, you'll see that you'll get roughly about 150 light points. A lot of the points are going to be used probably in the double digits for reviving, chain healing, and things like that. So I thought this class was pretty unique, and I wanted to showcase it here. We're just using Shadowheart as a base here because I figured why not. So we're going to go through the level up process. You can level up to level 20, however, as of making this video, there's only really class upgrades up to level 12. 13 to 20 is just more of your basic upgrades, such as getting a little bit more HP and you'd be able to choose different feats and things like that. So I won't showcase it in this video. If there is an update to the class, I will be going back and I'll do an update with it. I know this class has 3 subclasses. We'll focus on strictly just one for this video, and I'll make follow-up videos in the future of the other 2 subclasses. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so at level 2, you'll get access to the 3 subclasses. The first one's Blinding Light. Your light glows even brighter, disabling any foes that will come near, so this is more of a debuff and disabling subclass. As you can see here, you get Blinding Light. Creatures hit by your light class or fail saving throws against your light cast becomes blinded. You'll get Searing Light. Your light sears through those who will harm your allies. This is a little bit more damage dealing, while it still can do some healing. Your damage will also heal your allies too. I'll make it try and make sense a little bit later on. So you can see here, Scorch Blessing. Bless 3 allies you can see, while blessed, damage you deal against enemies heals those allies by 2 points for weapon attacks and unarmed strikes, or 4 points for light cast. This lasts for 10 turns. It's not a concentration spell, so as you cast this on your allies, and then they do damage, or you do damage, they heal by 2 points, or they heal by 4 points if you're doing light cast. So again, it's really more of a damage and healing as you take more action, so you're a bit more aggressive. And then we have Soothing Light. This is more of your burst healing, more of your protections and things like that. Your light graces others with Soothing Touch, protect them from further harm. And you get more subclass features with this starting out. Your light cast heals an additional 3 points of health. Light Steps, creatures you heal with light cast do not provoke opportunity attacks. Guiding Light, creatures you heal with light cast can add 3 to their attack rolls. Effect removed upon successful attack, so this means they get plus 3 to their attack rolls, so this means they're a little bit more successful to hit or even crit. And then you have Guarding Light. Creatures who heal with light cast take 2 less damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Now, for the Guiding Light, and I believe also for the Light Steps and the Gentle Light, you have to actually activate these in the menu. And they'll showcase that because we're going to be doing the Soothing Light subclass for this video, and then later on we'll be doing the Searing Light and the Blinding Light. So you get access to 5 spells starting out, a bunch of level 1 spells, but as you can see, instead of using level spells, these all use light points, different points for different spells. So Sanctuary takes 8, Delightful Blessing, which I believe is a new ability. The target gains ability +1 to ability checks, saving throws, and attack rolls, which is pretty good, all things considering. It lasts until next long rest. It costs 7 points. So I would say probably if you don't want Sanctuary, that's actually pretty good. Blessing is a concentration, but takes 6 light points. Then you have your Healing, which is your Cure Wounds. Your Healing Word, Fey Fire, or Fairy Fire, sorry. And she does also use light points. So all these will be using light points. Shining Light is actually pretty interesting because it's one of the few abilities that allow you to regain your light points. So I would say this is probably essential, because you can hear you can deal or damage, you can heal or damage a creature you can see, then gain 1 light point. So I'd say Shining Light's pretty good, and then you have Bolt of Light, which is just a light mote, so just some base radiant damage. You have Minor Illusion, which is just a cantrip in its own. And then you have Colorful Spray, which causes enemies up to 33 combined hit points to be blind. So I would say if you don't want Minor Illusion, I would say things like Delightful Blessing is really good, Bless is pretty good, so is Sanctuary. I would probably say, in my experience, Bless would be pretty good. It's concentration. You're going to be in the back line anyway, so Bless is always really good. But those emergency moments, Sanctuary, will probably be a better use for most case basis. Now, if you're going strictly healing, Bolt of Light, you can just switch over for Cure Wounds, but Healing Word is also pretty good as well, too. So at level 3, we get another boost of hit points here. And then we get access to a bunch of spells. We have Even Hand Blessing. Heal a creature near you. Subsequent cast reduces the healing by 2 to 16. So you can heal once for a big boost of damage, and then that damage is reduced to 2 to 16. So you can see at the start it's 1038, and then it reduces down as you use that on the same target. You have Light Pulse. This is basically just a thunder wave of light energy, essentially. Branding Light. You unleash your Pulse of Light, which damages invisible enemies and can prevent enemies from them becoming invisible. This lasts for 10 turns and is a concentration. You have Invisibility. And again, all of these are going to be more of the same flavored text, but you can see they all use light points. Leap of Faith, which is basically you able to Misty Step towards an ally and remove any effects that cause them to be prone to restrain. So that's actually really good if you want to save an ally. Then you have Dark Vision, Darkness, Blindness, Blur, and Calm Emotions. Humanoids can be charmed, frightened, or become in range. So these are all pretty good. These all can be used to prepare spells. So again, just kind of pick what you like. I would say probably Even Hand Blessing is probably like one of the best ones out of these, just because of the burst healing that you get, and it has 3 light points, which is pretty low. Leap of Faith is also pretty good too if you want to switch any of these out. At level 4, well, we don't really get anything special here. We can just swipe out the spell if we need to. And we get our first feat. Now, I haven't done too much research to see if any of the other spells or healing are actually affected by your class. I believe that they are. So safe bet, Ability Improvement is always a good choice. This class is based on, I believe, Charisma and Constitution. Or you can go Charisma and Wisdom if you like, but Charisma is going to be a big one. It's going to affect a lot of your healing here. At level 5, we have a bunch of new spells here. We have Burnout. Blast a foe with light, potentially shattering its connection to the weave, greatly reduces magical potency. Essentially what this does is, see here, creature has a negative 10 penalty to its spell attack rolls and spell difficulty class. So this is really strong against other mage users. So basically you want to burst that down as quickly as possible and really just like makes them ineffective for at least 10 turns. It is a concentration spell, but I think you're fighting against like a lot of people that, you know, are mages, or like you have one mage boss. That's actually really strong. Daylight's pretty self-explanatory. We have Revivify, Mass Healing Word. Oppressive Ray is a new one. Unleash a stream of light to an enemy, possibly setting its speed to 0. This basically makes it unable to move. This is concentration. When you hit them with this, I don't know how long it actually lasts, but it does reduce their speed to 0, which is pretty good if you want to try and stop enemy in its tracks. You have Wave of Light, which is also a new spell. Unleash a Wave of Light, healing yourself and allies by 4 to 32 hit points while damaging enemies. We have Divine Lash. Lash out at a creature to push it 12 meters away from you and potentially stun it for 1 turn. And we have Remove Curse, which again, a lot of these are going to be some of the vanilla spells, but have been flavored to use the light points instead of the level spells. I can't think of the name of them as we're speaking right now, and I apologize for that. So for here, I mean, just pick and choose. I think Mass Healing Wood's really good. Wave of Light's actually really good as well too. So I'll probably choose that, and so on and so forth. Now you can always rearrange these later on. I believe you can rearrange these later on, so you're not like committed to these. I believe you can treat them as a case-by-case basis. So level 6, we get a new action, Light in the Dark. Lay your hands on an ally, illuminating them. While illuminated, the ally causes you to gain 2 light points whenever it hits a weapon attack or an unarmed strike. Now this can only be cast on 1 ally at a time, so I would say pick someone that's going to be really doing a lot of damage, like your damage dealers, or people are going to be in the fray that are going to be doing a lot of like the melee attacks. This is really good if you have a monk. I would say monks and fighters are really good to use this on. I probably wouldn't use it on like a wizard, because I'm not sure if wizards will actually work with this as well. I believe anyone basically that just does melee damage, would be really strong with this. And then we also get to switch out our spells if you like. So again, I would probably build something towards this. Burnout, I would say probably be a little bit better than Multiply, to be honest, even though it's a level 3 spell. That potential of just negating a magic user is really strong in my opinion. At level 7, we get another health increase, and we get a bunch of spells here. We get Light Shield. You guard your allies with their Ethereal Shield of Light. They gain 15 temporary hit points and resist to non-bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. This lasts until Long Rest. Now, this is actually really strong because it does allow you to cast on multiple allies. However, it does take 12 light points, and as I mentioned earlier, This is where you're kind of seeing these light points hit the double digits, and where you start losing them as you progress. Cleansing Light. With Divine Healing Light, you remove any and all harmful effects on an ally and restore 1 to 6 points. Pretty decent. We have Chain Restore. Chain Restore. Restore an ally's health for 5 to 40 points plus 16 hit points. 2 beams of light then shoot out, healing allies within 18 meters by 8 points. So this allows you to basically heal multiple allies at a time if they're kind of close together. So again, that's really, really strong, and actually has a pretty decent effect. I'll showcase that here in a little bit. We have Death Ward, which is pretty self-explanatory. We have Subjugating Flare. You call down Subjugating Light to potentially restrain creatures in its area. Restrain, so we take a look at that flavor text. Cannot move. Attack rolls against this affected entity have an advantage, while the entity's attack rolls and dexterity saving throws have a disadvantage. So, pretty strong defibrillating attack or debuff there. We have Freedom of Movement, which is pretty self-explanatory. Then we have Blind Sight. Grant a creature the ability to see in the dark, including magical darkness, out of range of 12 meters. So, pretty strong. You can cast this, I believe, on multiple people, and it does take 16 light points. And here you just kind of like pick around the spells that you want to use. Again, all these are pretty strong. I would say probably Mass Healing Word. I would switch that out for probably Chain Restore. The difference in hit points is only 3, but you get much more potent healing out of that. So you can play around with this and kind of see like what does the most healing with the least amount of light points, and just kind of go from there. So level 8, we get another health increase. We get to choose our spells. So far, this is pretty good. Oppressive Ray is pretty good. You can swatch out for Subjugating Flare if you like, if you want a bit more restraint on multiple allies, because this only really works on one. This can work on others to restrain multiple enemies. It does take a little bit more light points, but you get a little bit more out of it as well. We get another feat here. I would say just get bumped up to Charisma to 20. At level 9, we get a couple of new spells. Mass Cure Wounds, Greater Restoration, Revival. This actually is a lot stronger than the typical Revivify because it revives the ally with the entire hit points instead of just a couple of hit points. And we have Light Well. Create a point of overwhelming light that pulls enemies towards its center. So it's pretty decent. It's a concentration spell. I believe this goes on every turn. So you can kind of like pick and choose what you like. I would say switching out Revivify for Revive is pretty good. The hit points difference is 8 points, but again, to be able to fully restore an ally is a lot stronger than just being able to restore them with 1 hit point. So you kind of pick and choose which one of these you like. We just kind of go from there. Again, it just kind of depends on what you're after with this character and how you want to best suit the healing, I guess, for lack of a better word. At level 10, we get another action here, Light at the End of the Tunnel. You can revive a companion with full hit points and grant them Death Ward and Freedom of Movement. So this can only be used once per long rest, but this basically gives the person that you revive a pretty big buff, giving them Death Ward and Freedom of Movement. So I would say probably I would put that in your spell slot. I think you actually get that automatically. I'm sorry, it's an action that you get automatically, so you don't have to switch it out for anything. But yeah, pretty strong ability. Like I said, it's probably one of the stronger healing classes that I've seen so far on the mod page. Level 11, we get just heal in general. Just a flat 70 healing. It costs 10 light points. We have Hero's Feast, which is pretty self-explanatory. Basically gives you increased HP. Makes your wisdom saves with advantage, and you can't be poisoned, diseased, or frightened. You have Delayed Healing. This is a new spell. Place a bolt of healing energy within an ally, great restoring their hit points once it finishes incubating. So basically, if you know an enemy's probably going to take damage on the next turn, but they can wait, you can cast this on them, let that turn go on, and then boom, they get 170 points of healing. You have Blazing Momentum. You bless nearby allies granted bonus attacks to their actions. I don't like this because I believe you can only cast this once per long rest, and it really doesn't give you that much of a momentum, even though it says it's pretty good. It's basically just a last-ditch effort. So we can completely read the flavor text here. Blessed with Blazing Light, movement speed is increased by 9 meters, attack rolls increased by 5, successful weapon attacks and unarmed strikes restored 4 to 24 hit points, and deal an additional 2 to 12 radiant damage. And don't get me wrong, those are pretty good numbers in the grand scheme of things. However, being only used as once per long rest, I wouldn't recommend. And then we have Solar Beam. A beam of divine sunlight that pierces and dazes your enemies while healing you and your allies for 3 to 18 points of hit points. So dazes for 2 turns, and the beam blast, I believe, for 10 turns. Yeah, okay, so you can recast it for 10 turns. It is a concentration, so you can use that, but being able to cast that for free for 10 turns potentially, that's pretty strong. So overall, like I said, this class is pretty strong in its healing capabilities, especially when you combine it with some of the subclasses that you get. So, as I mentioned before, level 12 is where this class kind of caps out in terms of like regular abilities. You can go up to level 20, but I believe he just gets health increases and more additional feats. So, if I was to go ahead and prepare spells, this would probably be what I'd be looking for. You can kind of pause to take a look at the icons and rewind if you like. And then for the final feat, Alert's pretty good if you want to be initiative in terms of like setting up heals and things like that. I would also say something like Warcaster is pretty good just to help maintain those. I'm sorry, not Warcaster, but yeah, Warcaster. I'm sorry, Warcaster to help maintain those concentration spells. So I'd say something like that, or if you want to bump up anything else here. I mean, it's your choice, but I would say Warcaster is pretty strong. Alright, so we did go ahead and level up to level 20. So you can see here, we do have 200 light points, which again, seems like a lot. However, when you see this cost of some of these in the double digits, such as 30, especially like things like Solar Beam, Delayed Healing, things like that, you can see how these points will drain out pretty quick. As we mentioned with our subclass, we do have the ability to switch between a couple of passive abilities. The first one is going to be Gentle Light, which allows us to heal for an additional 5 points of hit points for healing. Next one is creature you heal with Light Cast can add +3 to attack rolls. And then finally, the last one we have is creatures you heal with Light Cast take 2 less points of damage. So again, these can all be switched on the fly. And just kind of showcase a little bit of the abilities. Again, a lot of these are just kind of like the same flavor text, such as Sanctuary and Bolt of Light. So it really wouldn't make much sense to use some of these, but Delightful Blessing, like I said before, you can cast this on allies. Okay, so Delightful Blessing can only be used on one person. So you can basically stack this on different people. I'm sorry, you can't stack this on different people, but you can give different blessings for different people. So for example, you give Delightful Blessing to one person, and you can give Light in the Dark to another. You see Light in the Dark, that allows them to do additional points of damage, and then gave me 2 points of light here. So I believe this will work on the dummy, so let's give an example.
At your command. Bleed them dry.
Let's see if that actually works. Okay, so it doesn't work with the training dummy. Probably have to actually cast it and hit somebody with it. We'll show that in the combat scenario. But a couple of other abilities here. Again, Chain Restore is actually pretty cool. So we cast that on Madara. As you can see, the bolts of light bounce off and heal people that are inside the vicinity. I believe it's up to 18 meters. So we actually did get some light points back for that, which is actually pretty cool. So you can use this pretty sparingly to just basically heal your allies and do additional points of damage or different points of hit points, add on extra hit points to those targets. So this class is really, really strong, and I think it's probably one of the better healing classes that I've seen so far. I would say it's probably on par or better than the Final Fantasy White Mage class. I don't think I've showcased that just yet. That's on the list of modded classes I need to showcase, but I think it'd be cool to show like a primarily healing class. I know a lot of the classes I show are damage dealing. So we're going to go into a combat scenario with the other classes I plan on showcasing, especially with my main tab here, which is the Spellsmith, which is actually pretty interesting. That's a next video that's coming out. Following that, I do have one called the Arbiter that I'm going to showcase, which is more of like a Phoenix type build. It's only level 12 so far. I think I'm about to get updated to level 20 at some point in the future, but there are a couple of spells on the list that I do want to check out and a couple of classes that I do want to check out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the combat scenario. This is going to be without commentary, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.
Onward.
On my word. Soldier.
I can't even catch my breath. Best be on my way. Maya. Odio.
Fuck yes. Boom!
Sometimes the only way out is through.
On I go then.
I seek an advantage.
What's this?
What's the plan? Got to focus.
I got this.
Still breathing, despite everything. Don't waste a step.
Can't give up.
Have to keep going.
I will not fail.
Ready for another round? What's it gonna take?
Survival is all that matters. That should work. Need to find a way forward.